Awesome. Okay, here we go.
Yay.
Okay. Hello, Lou. Thank you so much for joining me today with another episode of Fridays with Flo. I'm excited to have you be my co-host, talking about down payment assistance programs and grants most home buyers didn't really know about. I'll give you the stage. You're welcome to share screen, but first, share with us who you are, how long you've been doing this, and
Sure.
tell us more about DHIC.
Sure. Thank you so much, Flo, for allowing me to be a part of this particular session. I'm Lou Sivulkha with DHIC. I am the lending manager and homeownership advisor at DHIC here in downtown Raleigh. I've been with DHIC for about now, March will be 13 years already in the role of homeownership advisor, and the last 5, 6 years as lending manager. I have some lending background. I used to be a mortgage loan officer for about 16 years. And as you mentioned about the down payment assistance, I was heavily involved in those type of programs when I started in lending. So that's a little bit of my background.
Awesome.
So will you want me to go ahead and start with the different types of assistance programs? So,
Absolutely.
yeah. So the sheet we have here is a list of all the different down payment assistance programs available in the area. Even though it says DHIC, none of these programs are from DHIC. DHIC does not offer any type of down payment assistance, but we have access to and knowledge about the different types of assistance programs out there. So I'm going to highlight some of these programs for you and your clients. So the first one is the City of Raleigh Homebuyer Assistance Program, and they actually have two programs. As I begin this session, just remember the programs are property driven. So it depends where the property is located will determine what type of down payment assistance you can receive if you meet the requirements and if you're eligible. So the first one here is City of Raleigh down payment assistance. You can receive up to $45,000 as long as the property is located inside the limits of City of Raleigh. It is a forgivable program, starts in year actually 21 through the end of 30 years. So as long as you stay in the house as your primary occupancy, primary residence for at least 30 years, the full 45,000 is wiped out. Next one is the City of Raleigh Enhanced Program, which is $60,000. This one is driven by the location. It's specific to the East 64 corridor, Highway 64 New Bern Avenue corridor. If the property is located within 1 mile of that corridor, the client who's eligible would receive up to $60,000. The programs are driven by first-time homebuyer lenders who work in this field. They would process the particular down payment assistance for you. So you would have to find a lender who participates in the City of Raleigh program. Next program is the Wake County Affordable Homeownership Program. This is the one we administer here at DHIC. We are the administrator of the program. It's for properties located inside of Wake County, but outside of Raleigh and Cary. So it would be properties like in Wendell, Knightdale, Garner, Fuquay-Varina, Apex, Wake Forest, so on and so forth. There are 10 municipalities inside of Wake County that are affordable to this particular program. Right now, Wake County is out of funding, but the fiscal year starts July 1st and ends June 30th. So hopefully we'll have additional funding coming up for this particular program July 1st. It is a $40,000 down payment assistance program. It's forgivable every 5 years at 25% increments. So $10,000 is forgiven every 5 years until it's fully forgiven, as long as you stay as an owner occupant, primary resident for the full 20 years. Next one is the City of Durham program. It's up to $80,000. Again, the first mortgage lender would be the person who qualifies you for this particular program. Again, you would have to find a lender who participates in the City of Durham program. It's up to $80,000. And the nice part about this program, it's forgivable after 15 years. None of these programs, as I mentioned, have any type of payment associated with them. They're only dollar amounts associated with the down payment. So there is no payment while you're living in the home. But depending on what you do with the property in the future, you may or may not have to pay back the entire down payment assistance amount. Next one is the Federal Home Loan Bank Grant. This, I think, just started with some of the local banks in our area in February. It's up to 17,500. It could also be 15,000. It could also be 20,000, depending on the bank and the type of income and employment you receive. That will determine what type of grant you receive from Federal Home Loan Bank. Talk to your lender. They would be the one who would process the file for you, as long as you are working with a lender who participates in the program called Federal Home Loan Bank. Next one is NCHFA Community Partners Loan Pool. We are a member of this pool, so we would process this money for you as well. It's up to $50,000 anywhere in the state of North Carolina. In that particular program, the entire amount of $50,000 is due whenever you sell the property, if you cash out refinance, or the end of 30 years. But that $50,000 helps you with down payment assistance. We do process that file here at DHIC along with the Wake County. So those are the two that are able to be processed. The next one is the 3% Home Advantage Program. Allows for clients who have a little bit higher income than the 80% AMI. I'm going to go over that here in about a second. But for those clients who are up to 140,000, they can receive up to 3% for down payment. Last one is the 15K DPA for anywhere in the state of North Carolina, as long as the lender participates with a first mortgage called Home Advantage. So you could get the 15K DPA. So with all these particular programs, as you could tell, you could stack these particular programs. So you could have the 15K and the City of Raleigh and then CPLP, or maybe you have the 15K Wake County and then CPLP, and then Federal Home Loan Bank could be added to that as well. So you could see there are many different programs that are allowed to be stacked as long as the client meets the requirements for these particular programs. One of the requirements is income, and the income is listed here. You can see the incomes are different from each county. Wake County income, let's say for a family household size of 4, is 104,200, which means your household income, your total household income, has to be under 104,200. In Durham County, you see it's a little bit less. If you were doing a City of Durham program, then your income has to be less than 92,500 for a family of 4. You have to have a 640 credit score to meet the requirements for all these programs. You also have to do home buyer education, and DHIC offers that home buyer education piece. So you're welcome to come to us to help you obtain that home buyer education. And then the ratios would have to qualify, make sure the lender qualifies you for these particular programs. So that's a synopsis of all the programs, Flo.
That was amazing. And I had a couple questions for you after.
Sure,
So you
sure.
said that many of people can stack these programs. What is the most amount of money have you seen go through stacked?
Sure, sure. No, great question. So let's say just a client was looking for a property that was maybe 325 or 330 in that range, and the lender qualified them only for $200,000 mortgage, right? So if the $200,000 mortgage is what they qualify for, but the property's worth let's say 325, what's the difference? How are they going to fill that gap, so to speak? So the most I've ever seen in a situation like this was the client received the 15,000 for the 15K DPA from Home Advantage with the first mortgage lender. That was the second. So the first is 200, the second is 15. The third one was 50K. That's the 50K DPA from North Carolina Housing called CPLP. The fourth one was City of Raleigh for 45,000. And the last one was 20,000 from Federal Home Loan Bank. So I think that total is somewhere about the 127 or so range, 125 range. So that 125 plus the 200 is 325. And guess what? They needed nothing at closing. So that was pretty amazing that they will be able to stack all four DPAs with the first mortgage at 200,000.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay. And so just to summarize things here, looks like the bare minimum credit score anyone will need to qualify for this will be 640 across the
That,
board. Okay.
that's correct. 640 credit score for all borrowers on the 1003 or the mortgage application with the first mortgage lender. That is correct.
Okay, okay. And I've seen where, one person, one significant other qualifies, the other does not, but the person that qualifies, they will pretty much be the borrower on the loan, but the partner, the wife or the husband or whomever, can also, they'll also own the property. They will be on the deed. They just
That's
simply will
correct.
not be on the mortgage or anything like that.
That is correct. And the key is to making sure that both of those incomes are still under, let's say it was two people or a two-person household, both of those incomes are under 83.4 combined, which
Mhm.
means maybe the spouse, maybe the wife is the one who is on the mortgage making 50 and the spouse, the husband, whomever is making 30, then they're fine because that's still 80,000, which is still under 83.4. As long as
Mhm.
the combined household income is less than the maximum 80% AMI for the county, you should be in good shape.
Okay. And one of the most critical questions here that we do need to ask is what if the income is 80 for a two-person household, $2.
Right. And and sometimes we get that, right, Flo? Once in a while we have a situation like that, and that's very unfortunate. If it's determined that they're off by $2, then they do not meet the requirements for assistance, they will not receive the assistance. So
Mhm.
that's unfortunate, even if it's a penny over the maximum 80% AMI, because these programs are driven for individuals who have moderate to lower incomes. So with that type of strong income, even though it's over by a couple bucks, the assistance will not be provided to them, unfortunately.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Well, this has been amazing. You've covered the nuts and bolts of this here. You shared a lot of great
Thank you.
programs available all over the triangle, including the minimum criteria, income, and all that sort of stuff. So I appreciate it. I know that there's typically a home buyer counseling class that's needed with this. So if somebody is interested in these programs, what's their very first step?
Sure. No, excellent. And in fact, you kind of beat me to it. I thought I had the screen up already. So, so I would recommend obviously to visit us, but you could visit any housing counseling agency. There's several out there in Wake County and Durham County. But this is our website screen, and you can see we're located at dhic.org. If you go to dhic.org, you'll see a ribbon up top. And when you go over the ribbon under home ownership, select home buying counseling and workshops. So
Mhm.
that's how you would start with us. When you start with us, you just scroll down and gives you all the information about the workshops and so on and so forth. It also gives you information how to start with us, how to gather the documents, how to you pay the $50 one-time counseling fee. That's one time with the borrowers. Email the documentation to us, and then attend a counseling session. In the counseling session, they will determine where you are as far as if you meet the requirements for these programs. Are you 640? Have you completed homebuyer education? Are your ratios what they need to be? What's your income? What's your assets? What's your budget? All those things that are needed for counseling are reviewed. And then once when they give you the green light for the workshop, you could go all the way to step 5, and this is where the workshop is. We hold workshops throughout the year. They're often on virtual and in person. So if you want an in-person workshop, you can register. If you want a virtual, you can register, but you have to wait until that particular workshop is over for that month. So we have another one coming up in March. It's a virtual, it's split in 2 sessions, 4 hours Saturday morning. And then after the 21st is over, the week of the 23rd, you could check our website, and then the workshop for in-person April 11th will become available to register.
Fantastic. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Lou. This has been
Welcome, Flo.
great. I've truly enjoyed it. I was a down payment assistance
That's
recipient of
that's
the
right.
CDL
Yeah,
program. We
right.
did City of Durham. And since
Yeah.
then, I have enjoyed being a realtor and, just helping first time home buyers use these programs and take advantage of it. There's a lot of options out there. So I appreciate it. So,
Yes.
yeah, and if anybody would like to reach out to us, feel free to comment or reach out to us here. Do you have I'll share my contact actually.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
can
Yes.
comment,
Yes.
like and subscribe to the channel, and if they reach out to me, I will certainly connect them with you.
Perfect.
So
Perfect. Thank you. Yep. Thank you, Flo. And I want to also say to promote Flo, and this is unabashed. I don't mind promoting Flo. She has a very much a passion for helping first-time homebuyers and a passion for helping clients to make sure they obtain everything they can in their purchase of home ownership. A lot of times, clients do not know about these programs or know about what to do. Flo is a great contact, great person to do that, and the first step for you to begin.
thank you, Lou. I appreciate
You're
that.
welcome.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, not all realtors come alike, and there are many realtors who are not aware of these programs. And not only was I also a recipient of these when I bought my very first home, I also help other buyers also take advantage of them. So definitely reach out. We'd be excited to help you. All righty, Lou, you
All
are
right.
go. We are going
Thank
to
you.
stop the live stream and stop recording. And